Hi, Eagles. This is Miss Bennett. I'm here today with another Sunshine State Young Reader Award-winning book. So this one is called Frank and Bean, and it is a book about friendship. These two unlikely friends, Frank, who is quiet and is trying to get some work done, and then there's Bean, who is loud and boisterous. And they had this unusual friendship. So let's read about Frank and Bean. Chapter 1, Frank. This is Frank. This is Frank's tent. This is Frank's pencil. This is Frank's spork. This is Frank's secret notebook. Everything here is Frank's. Alone at last, says Frank. Now I can write in peace. Frank writes in his notebook. But then he hears, ribbit, ribbit. Sorry, Frog, he says. My writing is top secret. Frank moves on. Frank hikes. He writes in his notebook. Then he hears, hoo, hoo. Shoo you, he says. No peeking at my words, owl. And Frank moves again. Frank dips his toe in the pond. He writes in his notebook. Splish, splish. Good gravy, he shouts. Who is it now? You can't read my secret notebook, and that's that. He looks down. Oh, it's just me, he says. Silly Frank. At night, Frank toasts one lonely marshmallow. Good night, Frog, he says. Good night, Owl. Good night, Crickets. The frog does not say good night. The owl does not say good night. The crickets do not say good night. None of them say good night to Frank. Frank frowns. Good night, Frank, says Frank. Chapter 2, Bean. Frank eats his normal oatmeal. He writes in his secret notebook, but then he hears, honk, honk, honk. Good gravy, cries Frank. What is that? Something parks next to Frank's tent. This is Bean. This is Bean's bus. This is Bean's trumpet. This is Bean's drum. This is Bean's triangle. And motorbike and gong. Everything here is Bean's. Oh, so we saw in the first chapter how Frank likes everything quiet. And now Bean shows up and everything he has is made for making noise. I see a problem coming. Bean plays his trumpet. Toot, toot, toot. Frank frowns. That is too loud. Bean plays his drum. Boom, boom, boom. Oh no, says Frank. That is even louder. Bean tries to sing. I am a bean without a song. Doo-dee-dee-doo-boo. Enough is enough, says Frank. Stop making so much noise. Bean gives up trying to sing. He rides his motorbike. Vroom, vroom. You are loud, says Frank. No, I'm not, Bean shouts. I'm a bean. I am Frank, says Frank. What are you doing here? You want me to cheer? Yells Bean. Okay, hooray for Frank. I did not say cheer, says Frank. Turn off your bike so I can talk with you. Moo, Bean shouts. I do. Do I hear a cow? I said you, says Frank. Not moo. Bean looks around. There's that cow again, he says. Frank says, I give up. Goodbye. Good pie? Calls Bean. I would love some, thanks. Bean follows Frank back to his tent. So Bean is misunderstanding everything that Frank is saying because his bike is so loud. He thinks he's saying things other than what he's actually saying. And Frank is getting frustrated. Loud and Messy, Chapter 3. Where's the pie? Asked Bean. Pie? What pie? Frank asked. Oh, rats, did you give it to the cow? Asked Bean. Frank sighs. Are you lost? No, I'm on a journey, says Bean. I am looking for something I have searched for from sea to sea. What are you looking for? Frank asked. Words, says Bean. Words? Why? Asked Frank. Because I am a one-bean band, says Bean. I make up tunes, but I have no words to sing with them. I have tried and tried, but I cannot write a song. Oh, so I think here's where that friendship is going to start, because we know that Frank is a writer and Bean is a musician who needs some words for his songs. I think there's going to be a connection. Let's see. You are trying too hard, says Frank. You don't need to look for words. I don't? Asked Bean. No, the words are already inside you. But you are too loud to hear them, says Frank. Try this. Sit still, then be quiet. Frank is as still as a rock. All is quiet. Squirt! Bean, that is not quiet, says Frank. Being quiet makes me hungry, says Bean. Want a jelly donut hole? No, I've never had one. Now shush, says Frank, and he closes his eyes again. All is quiet again. Squirt! Splat! You are loud and messy, says Frank. What is on your hat? Bean asks. That is my headlamp, says Frank. Give it back. So he's playing with his hat, shining the light in his eyes. What is this? Bean asked. 3, 2, 1, fire! That is my spork, says Frank. It's half fork, half spoon. Wow, a spork is half cool and half amazing, says Bean. So he's using his spork as a catapult and he's firing these donut holes at Frank. What is this? Asked Bean. Do not touch, Frank yells. Why? Asked Bean. That is my secret notebook, says Frank. Why is it secret? Asked Bean. Are you a spy? Are you a robber? Do you steal sporks? No, says Frank. I know what you are, says Bean. You are a private eye. So a private eye is an investigator. So let's see what Frank is going to say. No! Will you ever be quiet, says Frank. Yes, when you try a jelly donut hole, says Bean. Try it? Fine, says Frank, but just one small bite. Chomp, squirt, gulp, splat, burp. Hot diggity dog, Frank says. That is more than one small bite, says Bean. Frank does not say a word. He writes in his secret notebook. Chapter 4, The Big Secret. Frank closes his secret notebook. He turns off his headlamp. He shuts his eyes. All is quiet. Tooty toot toot! Good gravy, says Frank. So you can see Bean went to his van and he is making a bunch of noise. He knocks on Bean's door. Tap, tap, tap. Have you come to hear my trumpet? Asked Bean. No, it's too late for tooting, says Frank. Be quiet. Frank goes back to bed and all is quiet again. Oh, what is a bean without a song? Boom, boom, ding, ding, honk, honk, gong. Tap, 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 tap. Bean, do you know what time it is? Frank asks. Yeah, says Bean, it's time to rock. No, says Frank, it's time to sleep. Frank goes back to bed. All is Hello, Frank. It is I, Bean. Bean? Says Frank. What are you doing here? Being a one-bean band is lonely, says Bean. Nobody knows when I'm scared. I hear monsters. Listen. Ribbit, ribbit. Those are not monsters, says Frank. Those are frogs. Woo-hoo! Yikes! What is that? Bean asks. Those are owls, says Frank. Chirr, chirr. And what are those scary monsters? Bean asks. Those are crickets, says Frank. Do not be afraid. Listen again. Bean sits still as a rock. Ribbit, ribbit, hoo, hoo, chirr, chirr. It sounds like my music, says Bean. It is, says Frank. It's the night song. Bean hums. Ribbit, ribbit, hoo, hoo, chirr, chirr. I have a new tune, says Bean. All I need now are words. Says Frank. He opens his secret notebook. Why is that so secret anyway? Bean asks. Frank frowns. I want to tell you, but what if you laugh at me? Don't worry, says Bean. I'm not a mean bean. Okay, I will tell you, says Frank. These are my poems, but sharing them is scary. Please read a poem, says Bean. Do not be afraid. I will try, says Frank. I will be brave. Bean hums the night's tune. Frank sings his new poem. You are small, loud, and messy, but inside you are sweet. Oh, jelly donut hole, you are fun to eat. That is my new favorite song, says Bean. Frank and Bean sing the Jelly Donut Hole song together. You did it, Frank, says Bean. You wrote a song. Now I know what you are. You are not a spy or a private eye. Then what am I? Asks Frank. You are a rock star, says Bean. Want to be in my band? In a word? Says Frank. Yes. Cool beans, says Bean. I can be quiet now, Frank. I will go to bed. Good night, Frog, says Frank. Good night, Owl. Good night, Crickets. Frog does not say good night. Owl does not say good night. And the Crickets do not say good night. None of them say good night to Frank. Good night, Bean, Frank whispers. Sweet dreams, Frank, yells the Bean. And there they are in their band. So two unlikely friends discover something they have in common, and now they are working together in this band, writing songs and playing their music. And look at the name of their band. The band is called the Chili Dogs, and that's funny because when you have a chili dog, you have your Frank, your hot dog, and then you put chili on top, and there's beans and chili. So Chili Dogs is a perfect name for this duo. I hope you enjoyed our story. See you next time, friends.